Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Today we have a special podcast. You know what it is, you know how we do. My name is Alfonso Solis. Today, here in CaliProject Photography, in this podcast is going to be dedicated and I guess just focused for those of you who are thinking of becoming photographers, right? Like, how do you become a photographer? A lot of people just buy a camera, take pictures, and some of you even start without knowing becoming photographers, and you realize it halfway through, and then just start clicking on that business cap. So the thing that I want to focus on today is how do you grow as a beginner photographer? Baby steps, right? They call it baby steps. And how do we get motivated? So we want to get motivated in taking those baby steps and not be scared. Now, yeah, again, some of us, we are more confident in our skills and our talents, and we're able to like reach out and talk and do that naturally. But there's also different options that you can take to promote your business. And when I say your business, I talk also about your brand. Now, as a filmmaker, creative, or cinematographer, photographer, whatever it is, any industry, you need to be able to promote yourself, right? You need to be able to grow. And something that I talk with my clients when I brand and do social media management is we need to use the platforms that we have and use the skills that we already have. And some of us have skills that are off the chart. We just don't know how to apply them and how to grow from them. And now, if you think about it, most of these skills are common sense. And we're going to be talking about that, from growing your business, managing a couple projects, right? Project planning and management. That's what's going to escalate us to the next level. Taking those risks and making sure that our business or a brand, whatever it is, you can be a personal brand and be a business. But taking those steps, those baby steps. All right. So before we get started, I just want to say thank you for joining us, because if this is your first time listening to CaliProject Photography, I actually have a photography video for the 5D. We did a Canon 5D review, and I want to share that with you guys if you haven't seen it. We'll be talking about that in a couple more podcasts in the future, in the past, where whenever you're listening to this podcast, check it out. It's probably out already. The reviews and talking about the affordable cameras that we can use for taking pictures. Now, we're not going to be talking about that today. We're talking about how can we grow. Now, obviously, you need a camera to take pictures. And what I want to focus on today is how can we use our skills and grow. Now, it's not as easy as it seems, because you can hear that and say, okay, what skills do I have? If you think about your limitations more than your skills, then that's a beautiful way of thinking, because at least you recognize and know, right? Most people don't recognize their limitations or their weaknesses, as we call them. But you need to focus on what your strengths are. Obviously, if your weakness is being late, there's some things that we do need to change in our life that will 10x what we do, right? And so we want to make sure that we're doing the right things without wasting money, first of all, because that equals time. And if we take just think about it. Why pay money if money's time and you have time? So if you're just paying someone, you think that it's just that you're paying someone for the skill, but it's the time that they learn that skill. It's the time that they take to create your product or service that you're doing. So we need to think about stuff like that. So one thing that I want to let you guys know off the bat is you need to be motivated in your business. You need to have that drive. Now, you can say I have that drive for photography, but now you have to take ownership of what you own in that. So you have your own brand, you have the name of your business, you have the experience that people have, and that's your brand, that's your business. And so we want to give that and be consistent when we do give that experience to all our clients. Now, if you can up that experience, how can you do that? Right? Face to face was the big thing. Presentation, professionalism, showing that you knew what you were doing. So when you hit all these markers, you sell the gig. If you can deliver and you can prove that you deliver, there will be more confident to invest in you. So again, now when you're beginning, you're like, okay, What do I need to do? What is it that I need to, who do I talk to? You may not have a camera. You may not have a business. You may not have insurance. You may not have any subcontractors working as editors or photographers or whatever it is. You're doing photography for a wedding. You may not have all those resources. But what you do have is time. And if one thing that I can tell you can invest in right now is all the free things that are available to organize your business, from the freemiums or from the unpaid subscription, because most of these do have paid subscription. But it's like, how can you use the resources? Social media is free. There's other ones that cost money. But you know what? A Gmail is free, and it comes with the YouTube page or your YouTube channel. It comes with your account. It comes with Google Drive, Sheets, and it's all data based. And if you want to pay for more storage, it's all there. So taking advantage of these ecosystems and organizing your business is a big deal. It's free, and all you have to do is put your time to learning how to type up one that example. It's not limited to just a contract, basic contract for photography, or a waiver, or a call sheet, or just maybe even an outline for something you'll be doing and presenting to a client. Yes, further down the line, you'll hopefully want to have a business plan, because hopefully you're doing well off by that, and you're like, have a business where you can, once you start, like, that's another thing. When did you get the LLC? When do you start the business? So don't get it confused with reporting, and don't get it confused with taking record, which is one thing we will be talking about in another video, if not in this one. But it's just to go into it. It's like keeping record of everything you do, having something that backs up the contracts, have it organized either digitally or in a couple places in the cloud, whatever it is. Be organized. It's gonna make your life easier. It doesn't mean you have to write a 20-page business plan. You can even get away with a 1-page business plan, but I'm not talking about that. I recommend it, because then you have your vision and have your stuff, and you can put everything. I recommend all that stuff. But do you need a 20-page business plan that, this and that? No. What you need is you need to have the skills to present that you can do the product. Now, you obviously can't just buy a camera and sell yourself for $1,000 a day photo shoot. I'm a DP, I do cinematography. You don't. You probably buy a camera and do your friend's gig for free. I think that's a more realistic way of thinking about it. Now, how often do you have parties, especially now in COVID? Not that often. So what you need to do is start focusing on, how can I use social media to reach influencers and build clients? You have to use the resources that you have. Reaching out, posting, so when you reach out, you have something credible that you do. They see your work and like, okay, I can collab with this person. Any business that you go in, this is applicable. Like, you can definitely add this to any business, because what you want to do, and this is the focus again, what is the goal? Get new clients and keep the old ones. Retain them. Follow back. And we'll talk about that. But first, we need to find a client. Can't talk about retaining a client. We don't have one. So there you go. You have a Facebook page, you have an Instagram, whatever. Ask for testimonials, for reviews. And it doesn't have to be through a website. It does not have to be through a website. It could easily be, they tell you it, they text it to you, you type it up, and that's your testimonial. That's your review. You keep it in your logs. You can put it in the text on a commercial later on a promo. Those are your reviews. I do recommend you keep all the reviews if you have a business on Google or Yelp or whatever you do your photography. Take all those reviews and type them up. One day, and I'm saying you should because this is your business. When you do shoot a commercial or promo video for your business, that's something you should be thriving for. I mean, I don't know why you're here if you're not thriving to become better, right? So it's like, how can I use everything that I have? Asking your friend for a review after you shop for them. Let's say you trade off. This is what we're talking about, trading off. You're new. You show your value. Some of you already have a camera. Let's talk no camera. Let's talk just your phone. Most of you have iPhones. I don't know why you would have an iPhone. Maybe now, I guess for this case exactly, just take pictures on the go. Now, taking pictures with phones does not look professional. To start out, fake it till you make it. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Let's do it. Because you can easily, people don't got to see what camera you used. They see the end result. If you know how to do double exposure, use a tripod, you use Photoshop, you know how to, dynamic range, you start working with lighting, you can definitely get away with it. Now, when you try to sell a product, there's ranges, there's tiers there's layers of how the quality equals the price. If you're getting paid $120 an hour for 1 hour photo session, you're in the average, right? Like in the average place where families call you up, like, hey, let's go take pictures at the beach, and then you probably make a few $100 at a wedding here or there, $900 to $1,500 if you're charging good just for a single photographer. That's tier 1, and I'm talking about a professional level. Tier 2, we go up to these photo shoots that you have with influencers that they're willing to pay the $600 for that hour, $700 for that hour, right? That's like the middle part right there. It's not that much, because from there you could only just go up. You have the photo shoots that we have for like the magazines that you see. They rent studios. They have collections. God knows how much they spend. It's probably just in the studio they're spending $20,000 a month on the studio. They got people working. They got the photographer that's a premium price if he's famous. Quick story one time. Photographer of Ronda Rousey, and she got married to another UFC fighter. Forgot the name. Was it Matthew? Was it Matt? I don't remember, honestly. What I do remember is the story. One of my not gonna give him up, but he told me he was present. The one that the source that told me was present in the wedding, and you guys can see the wedding on YouTube. Just type it up, Ronda Rousey wedding. It was shot in Hawaii. There's a photographer, and look at the photos. They're really beautiful photos. I like them. And this is a good example of what I'm talking about. This guy, I'm obviously not looking at it, but once you type it up, you'll see Ronda Rousey's Hawaiian photo shoot. Super simple, but it has the brand. The photographer got paid God knows how much. And it's a good opportunity to see how branding works. I could be probably even better than this photographer, but it's his art that grew in value, right? I've seen photographers, and there's a lot of reasons people grow and don't grow. There's another example that I've seen. I've seen people that are worse at photography than me and are more successful. In my eyes, success means like growing your business. They're making a specific amount of money, but the work is not as great as I thought it was. Personally, and that's my personal belief. Like that's what I see. I'm like, whoa, there's good. There's things that I put into play. Like, is it a full frame camera? Even if it's not a full frame camera, it's like you take notice of all those little things when you're, thinking about photography. So when you're starting out, do you need all that stuff? A simple phone does the trick. A simple editing app solves the trick. And now at this point is going on YouTube and learning how to cut in either Adobe Premiere. There's Final Cut. There's DaVinci. There's, what is it? Avid. There's so much that you can edit. The essential non-linear editor. That's the focus that you need to learn. How to edit in this ecosystem. Now, it's one skill that you should learn how to focus on is how to edit in Premiere for videos here and there. But being able to expand. So the point of this is like you're able to expand to different software. Adobe has a great ecosystem. I love it. You're able to jump from Adobe Audition to Premiere to After Effects to Photoshop to Illustrator to InDesign. And what this does is it allows you to move at a faster pace. When you're shooting a photo, you're converting it into an animation, and then you need to convert it into a GIF, and then you have to render it and add it for social media. So you have to crop it and make, like there's so many things that you do and have to learn. When it comes to a non-linear editor, it's always a good thing to have when you're a photographer. Now, people are going to say, okay, so I need to learn this skill. Now I have to pay for this software. It's not about the software. It's about the skill and learning how to edit in these platforms. Same thing with Photoshop. There's always free alternatives that have the same capabilities, sometimes even better than the ones we think that are the average, the standard. Now, if you think about it, we can all just take the time. If you don't want to download an app, take the time to go code your own app and do exactly what you want it to do. It's that simple. However, again, because time is money, money is time, we're converting that. Now, it takes time to create those processes. So being able to use a platform and a skill in different platforms, you're able to use this skill in different platforms. An idea that I like a lot from the Adobe products is when I started in Photoshop, right? I would edit a photo. I know the pen tool, the brush, the eraser, and then I started going to these secret, right? You go to the arrows and you see these. Oh, okay, you learn more here and there, and then you jump into Premiere Pro or After Effects, and you see the same tools, and then you see like, okay, I understand what they do. Let's see what kind of capabilities they have on this, platform. And then you're able to see the pros and cons of a little touch of what everything needs, or why the purpose of every software. Now, learning to learn is one thing that we want to focus on. We'll talk about that in another podcast, learning to learn. But focusing on learning an ecosystem is free. A lot of people are trying to pay money for a camera, trying to pay money for a computer, right, with fast CPUs. If the goal here is to take a good picture and sell the product and make sure that the client that you have loves the product. Now, if your client, going back to the example shooting with your iPhone, we're shooting your iPhone, who would be your client for an iPhone? Your friend, right? Someone else. Let's say if you want to shoot with an iPhone, let's say you put a Craigslist post or something and you say, hey, I need a model. I'm an artist. I'm taking photos with an iPhone artistically, right? I'm paying someone to come through. Obviously, it takes money, but you have a model, you have the artist. Same thing. Once you have the camera, you can easily do that. That's paying your way out of it. In this podcast, I want to focus on how we can do it. How can we do it free? It's just promoting yourself and your services. Craigslist is a good one. On YouTube groups, being able to be available is important. Hitting people up and make sure, hey, I'm available for this in this date. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's done. And then you have more work for your portfolio. You have examples to show. You have more experience. It's a good way to do it. Going back to, you have no camera, you're trying to get motivated. Is it really good for me? Good example, taking the phone, taking a couple pictures at the beach, double exposure. Take one with the clouds looking really perfect, right? Colors and everything. And then take another one with the sand or wherever your subject or person is, and then expose perfectly. And then mesh them up, put them together, feather them in, if you can see that. And then start learning different ways of cutting both the images. And if you can relate to when you were a child and doing, like, the paper maches or whatever, you would cut out magazines and create, a montage or a mosaic of, of the cutouts. That's basically what you're doing. Having layers with videos, photos, digital assets, if anything. So that's one way to grow too, right? So focusing on the software versus the camera. Now, I know most of you already have a camera, so we're gonna go there and see if you're taking baby steps, right? That's the podcast today. Getting motivated and taking those baby steps. You have that camera. You're scared. You're scared to call someone up. You're scared to be like, hey, I do photos. Will you hire me? It's hard. Trust me. Like, I've done before. You're scared. You're like, what if I undersold myself or I oversold myself? And you don't, you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we have that self-consciousness of not being able, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And so sometimes we focus on that versus focusing on the confident person within us. And I think that's what we lack a lot of the times. We lack being motivated. We lack being, so a good way to think about it is actually when you open your third eye, right? You open your third eye and you understand your surroundings. You understand the connection to everything. You understand that basically the whole world is perverted, in the sense that perversion, as a matter of fact, means that, when something's changed from its original state. So if you look at everything around you, it's all perverted. Everything has, like, wood is now tables and chairs. Anyways, that's a whole different topic. But being motivated on your vision, being motivated on what you believe, is gonna help you. Now, we're talking about getting clients, and when these clients have a business to run, most of them have a brand, a business, a product that they're trying to sell, and they can't be wasting money. I have stories for days, and I've had examples of that, right? Like people getting fired on set because they're just wasting time, and the director's sometimes right, like saying someone else's money is on the line, and it's true. You're getting hired, your whatever job it is on set. So you need to focus on the timing. So when someone hires you for a corporate photo shoot, let's say they have a couple people and they want to go outside their business and take photos. An example of being scared for me, I would always be scared, for instance, like, I don't have a flash. What if it gets too dark? So there's always that fear. There's always that nervousness. But I think going back to the how to learn, it's being able to know how to improvise on set, being able to have solved problems. That's another skill, being able to solve problems. People are going to come up to you and want to ask questions, and people that are scared when they're put on the spot, and especially now when they're put on the spot something they don't know and they're responsible for it, it's like, it's hard. So we have to understand what comes with each job. What I would recommend, going to the jobs of someone else, do photo booths, work for someone else as a second shooter, do a wedding, and even do it for free just to be able to shoot. Right? Like, hey, I'll take my own camera. Can I go with you? You keep the stills. If you like them, you use them. If you don't, there's just ways of promoting yourself. But you definitely have to love the business aspect of it. Because when we start out, we're not doing passion projects. We're not doing our own photo shoot for our business or doing something artistic. We're doing shoots for other people that hire us, someone else's wedding, someone else's bautizo, someone else's business or brand. And then they have an identity and you have to kind of fit into that. And most of the time it's easy because they have created that, and you just capture those moments, and it's just a beautiful thing. But once you have that vision of being able to capture the essence of the brand or the business or the product, then I think that's when you start understanding what taking photos for a business or for someone else versus passion projects. And you can always shoot. What I would do is, like, I would save up and I would have my own passion project, like just to have, I go work for everybody else throughout the year, and then once a year I shoot my own big shoot, and I get to hire my own people and I get to do my thing. So that's one thing that you can focus on. Now, you can't do your own weddings, but that's a service-based business. You're always doing something for someone else. That's something that you have to understand, that you're creating a service and you're serving someone else. They have a vision, and sometimes you don't know what they're thinking, and they're not always the best communicators in vision. And I think that's why we're there. We need to learn how to become directors and leaders. Not everybody is made to be a leader. Some people don't want to be bothered, don't want to be the one asked the questions. But some of us, just like me, I like being able to be a problem solver. And I like sometimes I like not even knowing the answer and having to go look. It's that challenge of looking for the right person that can solve this problem. And I think that's important in any business. But again, when you're starting your photography, you have to definitely give back to the community. You have to understand what your purpose and vision is, who you're serving. An example for me, my civics engagement for high school was, how to help the minorities own businesses, and so I think that's one focus, inspiring people to start a small business, whatever industry. I'm not even just focused on photography. It's just one thing that I'm really good at, and I love lighting. I love using light and photons, and then the science of it. It's like music. There's people that understands what C sharp is, or here and there. I don't know what that is. But making a melody, anybody can hum it. Anybody can create a melody. You don't need to know what C sharp means to sing at C sharp. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we need to understand that some of us have it in us, and we need to just focus on that. We need to get motivated and see, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice. We're sacrificing time, depending how you see it. Some of us have to leave the Fortnite or leave the editing, or leave photography for a minute so we can go focus. Like, we're so focused on photography that we're not focused on photography. You know what I'm saying? So just get motivated. This podcast was just made so we can talk. If you're interested in learning more, we're gonna have more podcasts coming through. Check out the videos we're going to be posting here at CaliProject Photography. I want to say thanks to everybody that has been supporting the video that we posted for the 5D. We've had good comments, bad comments, and I love it being part of this ecosystem called YouTube channels. And now we're able to grow, and I want you guys to be part of it. We're going to be growing step by step, like we said, baby steps. Even though we're just getting in on YouTube, we want to share all the knowledge, and there's just so many people that inspire us, people that are motivating us in Fine Prime Media. If you haven't checked out yet, Fine Prime Media is a filmmaking production company here in Vista, North County, San Diego. So hit us up for any projects. It's a business that we're running. We have Zach Porter, actor, Alvi Luis Solis, my wife. We have a lot of different actors that we're working with in Hollywood and the Burbank area also. We're located, our offices in Vista, North County, San Diego, but we shoot pretty much everywhere in Southern California. And we just want to make sure that you guys are good to go as businesses. This is one of our channels, CaliProject Photography, where I, Alfonso Solis, take some time off out of my day and just talk about photography. I talk about photography, how to start, how to grow. There's just so many ideas and opinions that we have, and I think everybody putting their opinions on the table and just allowing people to absorb and take the best decisions and try different things, because that's how we learn, and eventually that's how, I mean, stereotypes and also like habits and things that we, the patterns that we see, it's just easy. So instead of like reinventing the wheel, it's always easier just to find someone that has done it, find that knowledge, and it's always easy to find when you're on ecosystem like YouTube. So I want to say thank you. You guys can check us out on Instagram. My Instagram is Alfonso Solis Official. So I think I said that right, or Oficial Alfonso Solis. But the focus is Find Prime Media on Instagram and Facebook. That's the business that we're trying to grow, because allowing Find Prime Media to grow is allowing the vision to be visual. We shoot films, we short films, but we also give back to the community. We do the CaliProject photography for brides and weddings, quinceañeras, and photo shoots, lifestyle. We're trying to see how we can grow. And I think leave it in your comments and give us the opinion of whatever it is. I mean, I've been called anything and everything about my talking, about my movements. I think that's why I did this podcast too. Like, you can't see me. But thank you so much. I want to say thank you to every single one of you for staying till the end. We're going to be having more podcasts just like this. Please like this video so we can get up there in the algorithm. I would very much appreciate it. Hit me up and we'll talk, we'll communicate. Hopefully we can do Discord one day, or Twitter, that we can all be a ecosystem of growth. And yeah, God bless you guys.